My name's Scab. I've been writing it for close to 20, 25 years. But Scab is an acronym, and I won't say too much. I won't get into it too much, but it's an acronym, and some people know what it stands for, and some people just got to stay guessing. And UTM is a crew I pushed. It's been 30 years now we've been around, so that's who we are.
So when did it start?
It started back in 1993, and I was writing graffiti already by myself in that North Central area off of Blanco. But I had a friend that came down from Cali, Canoga Park, Los Angeles. We linked up, started writing together. We started UTM, and ever since then, we've been writing it. We're actually the oldest crew here in San Antonio, besides other crews that are transplants, though. But born and raised, it's us. We're the originals here. And back then, it was nothing but gangs, so we had to get around the gangs and go to war with some gangs and shit. And now that it's been around all these years, a lot of people done dropped it. They grew up, they had families, they're all older guys.
So how old are you?
I'm 48.
48. And so
48 years old.
What do you like about it?
I can tell what I don't like about it at first.
Okay.
First, I don't like the process, like court process and court dates and catching cases behind this shit. Because really, I mean, it's just graffiti. It's just paint on a wall, and it's not that serious, at least to me. But the other thing that I like about this shit is the adrenaline, for sure. And that's one thing I've always loved, is the adrenaline rush when I climb shit or I dodge cops or whatever the fuck. And it's freedom too, man. Once you put it on a wall and you want to do it more and more and you start seeing it more, you just feel more liberated. You feel free. And it's a form of, like, ever since I was little, man, I've always rebelled, bro. Mm-hmm. I mean, rebellion is something I think, to me, every man should have at least a little bit and never leave him, even as we get older. So I've always been one to rebel and against the system, and I really don't go by any kind of rules. I live by my own rules. Like I said, I don't have no kids. I don't believe in man-made rules. I'm an atheist, man. I just believe in doing my own thing and making my own rules.
Do you have any limits? Like when you say it's just paint on a wall, like is there anything that you won't paint, or would you paint anything?
I usually try not to deface people's property. I'm talking about personal property, like homes and vehicles, and I usually dodge those that have respect for people's property, personal property. But if it's buildings and old buildings and rooftops and stuff like that, or highway buildings, that's free game, man. I'm gonna write on all that shit because I see them doing more destruction than what I'm doing, putting up buildings and tearing up the land and bullshit like that, putting in fences. So they're gonna destruct, I'm gonna do destruction too.
What's your ideal world look like then?
Graffiti everywhere. I've been to a lot of cities, and it's more accepted in a lot of more cities than it is here. To be honest, I think we ought to be like Los Angeles and New York, Miami, and big cities like that, and have a lot of graffiti. And I think if there was a lot more graffiti, there'd be a lot less gang shootings, robberies, and stuff like that.
Why? Just because it gives them something else to do?
Exactly. It kind of motivates you to paint and do that kind of destruction on property than to be out there at night going to bars, shooting. And you know, there's a lot of shit going on the city. So graffiti kind of keeps you away from that, in a sense.
So what kind of stuff are you most proud of?
Wherever it gets more attention at, that's what I'm more proud of. Because the style and all that, a lot of times I'm under circumstances up there. I'm really fast. I got to be fast. Or the tips are messed up or something with the can. So the artistry and the shit onto it, I mean, that's cool and everything, the way it comes out. But it's where I put it. I get more pleasure out of.
And so you're 48. So what keeps you doing this now?
So I think it's the youth in me. Because I don't look 48. I still skateboard, I exercise often, I ride my bike. So I think it's something that has to do with a little bit of youth in me. But at the same time, it's that adrenaline, man. It's like to me, it's like a drug. I've been climbing billboards since I was 13, and I'm 48 now, and I still climb billboards and climb buildings and shit. And I like to be up there sometimes, and I like to look down at everything, and I'll smoke up there, and I'll look down, and I'll be like, fuck. I don't know, it's a feeling, like a euphoric feeling sometimes.
So what about the rebellion aspect and how you said a lot of these buildings and stuff are kind of messing with the land? How do you think your graffiti rebels against the system? What exactly are you combating?
Because like another thing I see is like just the other day off of Blanco and actually off of West Avenue, Wurzbach Parkway, in that area, they're cutting all that land down, and I don't know what they're making there, but lately I've been seeing raccoons and animals, and I'm an animal lover, so I see them on the road. So I know the destruction of all that, driving animals out of there, it's destroying the land to put another Family Dollar, Dollar General. So to me, I think that looks uglier than graffiti to me. Just putting up buildings everywhere and concrete and concrete. So I'm gonna put graffiti on these buildings, whether it be on top, on the bottom, the same way they're fucking up the environment. I'm gonna fuck up the environment a little bit too. That's what I feel about that.
Matching that energy, basically.
I'm matching that energy, and sometimes they don't see it like that. People will be like, because I read articles in Reddit and shit about me and stuff, and they clown and shit, and I find that funny. But I'm like, I'm happy every day. I live to the fullest. You know, I travel. So, I mean, I win at the end, and I'm gonna just keep on doing it more.
How often do you go out and do something like that?
I maybe go maybe believe it or not, once or twice a week, and I just go hit up one spot in one night, and that's it. I'll call it a night. I don't go out doing 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 in a week. I just do it once or twice. And like I said, I limit my graffiti because I'm not trying to just burn out the city and burn myself out. Every time you go right, it's a felony. If I go right in 1 week 4 or 5 times, I'm committing 4 or 5 felonies in a week. So I'd rather just limit it to like 1 or 2, and I'm just trying to dodge that. Not trying to put myself out there like that.
What's the rest of your life like? Do you have a day job? You don't have to tell me what it is or anything, but do you?
Oh, what I do? Yeah, I work 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I've always held a job. I've always worked. I've never been one to be unemployed. So I always work. And a lot of times my graffiti, I do it early, as soon as the sun goes down. A lot of my graffiti, I do it at like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, because I got to get ready for work the next day. So contrary to what people think, I'm out there all the time. Because sometimes on weekends, I will be out 4 or 5 in the morning painting. But during the week, if I paint something, I'm going to be home by 10 o'clock just because I have to work the next day. Yeah.
And so you've been caught before in San Antonio, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
And what was that like?
I caught a graffiti case. I went to boot camp for it for 90 days. And then I got out and I caught another graffiti case. And I went and did 2 years for that. State jail, yeah. And then I got out for a year and I caught some more cases, but they were involved gun cases. And then they threw a graffiti case on me that I wasn't even guilty for, but I pled guilty to it anyways as part of a plea bargain. So I already have felonies for graffiti in my name already, shit. And I'm rebellious, bro, to the, you know, like, I don't believe fuck everything, you know, I don't care. I'm gonna put my graffiti everywhere. I fought for my graffiti. I've caught cases, and I'm that type, but at the same time, I'm not that stupid to just go and piss a lot of people off and then have them come raid me. But it comes with consequences too, man. Like I said, prison, jail sometimes, and fights, shootings and stuff sometimes. So it does come with consequences sometimes, huh? Because I went to prison for shooting at another rider. We were beefing for a long time by Marbach area, and I caught him slipping, him and his girl, and I shot up his car, and I caught a case for that. So then, after I came out of prison for that, they were going to put me on probation for another case that was kind of running. I've had a lot of cases, bro. Because that's another thing about me, man. Like, I'm accountable for what shit I do. Like, if it ain't graft and ain't copyright heading, then I'll deny it. But other shit like weed cases and gun cases, I just cop out guilty and I just go do my time. I don't even take probation. I just rather go do prison time.
Wait, so how much time have you spent in jail in total?
13 years.
13 years.
Yeah, 4 bids. 4 times I've been to prison. And the longest one for 6 years, from 2004 to 2010.
So you said you were beefing with that other guy, and then is that something that like continues to happen? Like, how do you feel about that now? Is that something that, like, do you regret that or no?
Well, I'm not. I can't say I regret it. You know, like, not to sound cliche or nothing, like no regrets, but I just regret going and doing the time. You know, I don't regret doing that action, because I'm going to do that for my graph. Like, if someone's tagging me out or whatever and slicing me out, then I'm going to get down from mine. We can fight, we can shoot, whatever. And now I'm a little bit more cautious in what I do. I don't carry guns like I used to, and, you know, and just up until recently, man, like a couple of years ago, I got into some beef with some other cats, and that was coming down to that already, to getting down to shooting. So every time I would go and I'll slice these cats out, I would always carry a strap with me, because there were always a few of them. And so I'll be out at night slicing them out and back and forth going to war, and I would always have the gun on me just in case they roll up on me. But then after a while, it got squashed, man. It got squashed. Yeah. And I'm glad it did, man, because like I said, I ain't trying to go back to prison for this shit no more, or shooting at nobody. I'm pretty chill, but when the shit comes down to it, I'll get down. I have philosophies, man, that some people, they kind of like, same thing too. They're kind of like, well, I never saw it this way, and I never saw it this way. But like, when I went to prison and jail, I read a lot of books. I'm a reader, and nothing but nonfiction. I've read the whole Bible. I try to read the Quran. I just have different philosophies than a lot of other people because I picked up books and I would just read, and I just felt like when I get out of jail or prison, where I was at, I'm gonna do what I want to do as long as I don't hurt nobody, as long as I don't I take care of my parents.